Childhood. Son, life is like a book. It has numerous chapters. It also has many a lesson in it. It is made up of a wide variety of experiences and resembles a pendulum where success and failure, joy and sorrow are merely extremes of the central reality. The lessons to be learned from success and failure are equally important. More often than not, failure and sorrow are bigger teachers than success and happiness. You are a cricketer and sportsman. You are fortunate to be representing your country, and that is a great honor. But never forget that this too is just another chapter in the book. Typically, let's say a person lives for 70 or 80 years or so. How many years will you play sport? 20 years? If you are very good, maybe even 25 years. Even by that yardstick, you will live the majority of your years outside the sphere of professional sport. This clearly means that there is more to life than cricket. I'm asking you, son, to keep a pleasant disposition and maintain a balanced nature. Do not allow success to breed arrogance in you. If you remain humble, people will give you love and respect even after you have finished with the game. As a parent, I would be happier hearing people say, Sachin is a good human being, than Sachin is a great cricketer any day. My father's words, which I often heard while growing up, encapsulate my life's philosophy. I was born to a very close-knit Maharashtrian family in Mumbai's Bandra East and lived in the Sahitya Sahwas colony, a residential cooperative for writers. I am one of 4 children with 2 brothers and a sister. Nitin, Ajit and Savita are all older than me, and not only am I the youngest in the family, but I was also the worst behaved. My father, Ramesh Tendulkar, was an acclaimed Marathi poet, critic and professor, while my mother, Rajani, worked for the Life Insurance Corporation of India. Humility and modesty were their hallmarks, and I owe a lot of my personality to my upbringing. Despite all my unreasonableness and all the embarrassments I caused them, my parents never gave up on me. In fact, I have often wondered just how they managed to cope with such a naughty child. Though he must have been pushed to the limits sometimes, my father would never shout at me and was always patient when dealing with my mischief. This added to my respect for my father as I grew older. Losing him during the 1999 World Cup in England remains one of the most traumatic moments of my life, and I will forever remain indebted to him for helping me become the human being that I am. My mother, the best cook in the world for me, will do anything to see a smile on my face. She used to make the most delicious fish and prawn curry, baigan bharta and varan bhat, lentils and rice that is, for us at home, and I owe my appetite and love of food to her. I fondly remember lying on her lap after eating delicious home-cooked meals, as she sang the most beautiful songs while trying to get me off to sleep. Listening to her while dozing off at the end of the day instilled in me a love for music that has remained with me to this day. My brothers, Nitin and Ajit, have always backed me in my endeavors, and on the cricketing side, I owe a lot to Ajit, who is 10 years older than me and was a good club cricketer himself, but decided to sacrifice his own career to help me achieve my potential. As I said in my farewell speech after my final test, Ajit and I lived the dream together, and he was always my most trusted critic and sounding board. I may have scored the runs, but Ajit was always there with me in spirit, trying to put me right whenever I made a mistake. Even after my last test innings, we had a discussion about how I had got out and what I had done wrong, despite knowing I'd never play for India again. Ajit is not just my brother, but my closest friend as well. He was always available when I needed him, and always put my cricket before his own work. My eldest brother, Nitin, easily the most creative of the siblings, was the strict disciplinarian in the Tendulkar household, and helped rein in my exuberance when my mother had almost given up on me. He not only sketches really well, but is also an accomplished writer and poet, and has recently written songs for a movie. Nitin, initially a chemistry teacher, subsequently worked for Air India, and I remember on one occasion, when I was 10, his flight was delayed and he had to wait at the Centaur, now Sahara Star, hotel in Mumbai. Ajit and I went to have dinner in his room, and for the first time in my life, I tasted tandoori chicken, which subsequently became one of my most favorite dishes. Savita, my sister, gave me my first cricket bat. She travelled to Kashmir for a holiday when I was 5 and brought me back a Kashmir willow bat. She is easily the calmest of the siblings and has a very reserved and composed demeanour. She stays unruffled in difficult situations, and we often consulted her on critical matters while growing up. When she got married, I, not knowing much about rituals and customs, tried to insist that my brother-in-law should come and stay with us rather than Savita having to go away. I did not want to let her go, and I must say, I missed her terribly when she left home.